What's up, guys? Tough Love Tom here. So, the last 30 years, I've been reading a lot of self-help books and the self-improvement stuff because I've been trying to figure out, well, what's my real path in life? I've sort of really roller coastered all around my life. I'm sure a lot of you guys have maybe done the same thing. And the question always comes up, well, what do I really want to do for a living? Who am I? Where do I belong? Where do I fit in? How can I pay my bills and be happy every day? And I found this guy. I've been binge watching this guy named Sadhguru. He's an Indian guru. I never heard him before. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sadhguru, I guess. And he had this one video, and I'm going to just borrow what he said and put my own spin on it here. But he talked about postpone. He says, if you postpone something, you've already decided not to do it. Because you could do it right now, right? I mean, you could have done it yesterday. You could be doing it right now. But if you postpone it even an hour or two or three, or a day or two, or a year or a decade, then you really decided I don't want to do that. And he says, why would you want to postpone, or why would you want to do something you really don't want to do? Because all life is energy and time, and we have limited both. We have limited energy and limited time. We're all mortal and we're all going to pass away at some point. So why force yourself to do things that you constantly postpone? Because when you postpone, you've already made the decision, I don't want to do that. And especially in the West here, we're programmed that, well, you have to do things you don't want to do. You have to do your homework. You have to go to college. You have to go to some job that is toxic. I just quit a toxic job, by the way, on Friday. No, I don't have to do those things. I don't want to do things I don't want to do. Well, what do you want to do? What's the real answer? What's going to truly make you happy? Well, they have this word. He used this word I've never heard before, prepone. Prepone. And so I looked it up. I'm like, he kept saying prepone. What is prepone? I've never heard of prepone. And I looked up the word prepone, and it's a word that English-speaking Indian people created. And I don't know if it's officially recognized word in the English language or not. It should be, because it's a genius word. It means the opposite of postpone. Instead of postpone, to delay doing of something, you prepone it. You move it up. You do it now. For instance, yesterday, I was going to cut the grass, but I had some things to do, and I wasn't feeling like it. And so I postponed it. I was going to postpone it till some later time. Well, I woke up today and I could have cut the grass tomorrow or the day after, but I actually enjoy cutting the grass. And so I preponed the cutting the grass to this morning. I moved it up. The grass really didn't have to be cut. It wasn't that long. But I preponed it to this morning because I wanted to cut it. I wanted to cut the grass this morning. I actually enjoy cutting the grass. But I don't always enjoy it. Sometimes I postpone and say, well, I don't want to do it today. I'm not in the mood, or there's other things I'd rather do. But I preponed it today. I moved it up. I did it this morning when I wanted to do it. It was overcast. It was a cool day. And I had a pretty clear schedule today, so I did it. And I think prepone, this wonderful word that the English-speaking Indian people came up with, it's an amazing word. It should be an official word if it's not. That really is the key to doing what you want for a living. You just have to, whatever gets you out of bed in the morning, the first thing you do in the morning, that's your prepone. There's a saying, you are what you do every day. And so whatever that is, you just need to monetize that. You just need to charge for it. Find a way to monetize it, and that's what you should be doing. And if you're not doing that, if you're postponing certain things in life, you shouldn't be doing those. You decided, I don't want to do those things. Even if it pays me money, like I just quit my job a few days ago. It was toxic. I used to go in early, and I used to stay late. Well, some people there were toxic, and I didn't want to stay late anymore because they worked the night shift. And I said, I don't want to work with these people anymore, so I'm going home early. And once I started going home early, I realized I was postponing the work, that I wanted to cut the work short. The problem in the West is we have a lot of shaming, a lot of values we put on what we're supposed to do, what's a legitimate job, what's not a legitimate job. We put the stupid status symbols on things. And, for instance, video gamers. I mean, when I was growing up, they get a lot of negativity, and they still do. They still have to kind of defend, well, I play video games. That's my biggest prepone. I love to get up in the morning, and I can't wait to play a game. I stay up late at night and go into work on 4 hours of sleep because I was playing a game late at night, and I'm tired all the time because I'm postponing going to bed because I'm preponing the playing of this video game. Well, I'm not a gamer, but I've read enough articles, and for you guys out there that know, video game is extremely lucrative today. Very lucrative. I watched this interview maybe a year ago. This kid was 17. He's one of the top 10 Fortniters. He was ranked number 7, I think. He's making $500,000 a year. He's still in high school, and he's just streaming Fortnite. Now, he works hard at it, and he has a lot of different channels and ways he makes money in it, but extremely lucrative. And he said he's not even the number one. The number one guy makes millions of dollars a year, and I think he's a teenager. So video games is extremely lucrative. And I know a lot of you prepone video games. I was thinking today, while cutting the grass, some of my best ideas come while cutting the grass. And I've thought many times, well, why don't I just cut grass for other people? Well, I don't want to do quantity. Typically, people just cut as many lawns as they can, and they make a lot of money that way. There's nothing wrong with that, but I like making my grass look like art. So I came up with a name. If I was to do this, I would call it lawn art. My business would be called lawn art. And I thought, well, if I charge $2,000 a year, a contract, I would only need, 20? I would only need 20 customers to make $40,000 a year, which is about what I was making delivering pizzas. So I thought, okay, well, wait a minute. What if I just found 10 customers at $4,000 a year, right? And this would be like, I would make your lawn look like art. Like, you wouldn't have to worry about it. And then I could sell add-on services too, like putting in flower beds or putting in ponds or water fixtures, things like that. And then I thought, well, what if I just found 2 customers at $20,000 a year? Like 2 wealthy customers. Could be a corporate, could be just a wealthy, nice house. Then I thought, well, what if I just found 1 customer at $40,000 a year for my lawn art business? Like, I just replaced my job. I just need 1 customer, and I just take pictures of my manicured lawn and say, here, I can make your lawn look like this. Of course, his lawn's bigger. Their lawn would be bigger, but charge them $40,000. You could also set up an Instagram page. Another way to monetize cutting grass would be, I could take good pictures of my lawn and put up an Instagram page and get some sponsors, or a YouTube channel. Sponsors selling lawn products, lawn care products. I could also put instructional YouTube videos up and make a YouTube channel. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can monetize cutting grass. If you really like working in your yard, there's really infinite ways you can monetize that. You could teach classes. You could sell your own products. You could bottle your own fertilizer, your organic fertilizer or something like that. Teach classes, all kinds of things. There's all kinds of ways to monetize just cutting grass. My next door neighbor, she's semi-retired, and she loves to grow plants. She has her basement full of pots, and there's lots of ways you can split up bulbs, for instance. And so, like 10 years ago, before I lived here, she'd planted maybe 5 or 6 daylilies in my yard, right, in a nice flower bed. And I split them. Every year I split them up. So I take 5 or 10 of these, and I've been spreading them and planting them all around the yard. So now they bloom in July right now. Now my yard is just full of these orange daylily blooms. They're all free, by the way. All of them are free. But I got to thinking, she just had a yard sale, and she has a couple of yard sales a year, and she makes a couple $100 a year just selling plants, along with the stuff she doesn't use anymore, clothing and whatnot. But her hobby, her prepone, is planting plants in pots, and so she's kind of a little bit of a plant hoarder. And when her basement fills up with plants too much, she either sells them at a yard sale or she puts a Craigslist ad, and she'll sell them that way. And so I came up with the idea, because she like daylilies is one of the things she likes. You could start a business called Ms. Lily Day. and specialize in daylilies. So there's a way you could monetize that right there. She's already doing this stuff. This is her hobby. This is her prepone. And the cost would be practically nothing. I mean, these disposable little pots, you could buy those things for like 50 cents a piece. Dirt's practically free, maybe $1. The daylilies themselves are free because you just split them every year. And I thought, you can make a solid living just selling daylilies off Craigslist and yard sales. Maybe even set some out on the lawn every day with a for sale sign on it and a phone number or something like that, or get a website. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can monetize just making plants. So really, to find out what you want to do in life, it's what you're doing already. You are what you do every day. If you're postponing something, like going to work or getting a job, like I've been postponing filling out the DoorDash application. I think I'm going to try I delivered pizzas for a living. I enjoyed it. I just didn't like some of my coworkers and the upper management in HR there was horrible. So I've been postponing the DoorDash because the last few days I've just been full of ideas. I started this YouTube channel, and I'm not going to do editing. I'm just going to follow Gary Vee's advice and just hit record on the phone and just spit out my ideas. I was realizing today, well, what do I prepone? What do I do first thing in the morning? The first thing I do is when I check my stocks. I'm always passionate about the stock market. So that's one source of income, okay? I make about $15,000 a year in dividends right now, and that's growing. Number two, what do? I make my coffee and I just think. What did I do late last night? What kept me up late last night? I absorbed lots of information. I've been absorbing information my whole life, and I processed this information. And I finally decided I just need to share it with people. This is my prepone. This is what I do in the morning. This is what I do all day long. I just absorb information, I process it, and I spit out a result. And so that's what I'm doing here. This guru, SADH guru, he talked about building a cocoon or building walls of a house. He says, we build these walls around us for security, like a cocoon. We build it to protect us, but the cocoon can also be a prison too. It can keep us trapped. He says that's why we put doors on houses. So sometimes, like for instance, when I was a teenager, I loved music and I wanted to be a professional musician. I fell in love with music and I wanted to be on MTV and be a rock star and all that. And I couldn't put the guitar down. I played guitar all the time. That was my prepone constantly. And so I built a cocoon around myself of, well, I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to be a guitar player and a songwriter and so forth and so on. But I did make a good run at it in my late teens and early 20s, but then I guess I just postponed it. I kept postponing the music. I wouldn't pick the guitar up. I wouldn't write the songs. I wouldn't finish the songs. I wouldn't make the demos. Mostly because I didn't get any success for several years, 3-4 years. And I guess I just lost interest to where I postponed it. The problem is for the last 30 years, I've trapped myself in that I'm a musician cocoon. I didn't have a door to get out. I didn't let myself get out and change. I didn't realize that I'd been postponing music for the last 30 years, that the last time I really preponed music, I was a teenager. And so I have to let that go. I'm going to let my music go, or I'm going to find a way to monetize and share my music, but just not do it the traditional way. And now with YouTube and TikTok and stuff, there's people that just get on there and noodle, because I'm really good at noodling and coming with song ideas and riffs. I postpone the finishing of the song and I postpone the recording of the song. So your prepone and postpone are going to change over the years, and I think it's good to recognize when it's changing. But the real test, the litmus test to me is, what are you postponing? Whatever you're postponing, that's not what you really want to do. You've already decided you don't want to do that. And I have to thank this SADH guru for pointing that out. That if you're putting something off right now, you've already decided I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If you postpone it for weeks or years, you definitely don't want to do that. And you're wasting your time. You're wasting your valuable energy and time. And that's very limited for all of us. And the things that you prepone, that you want to jump out of bed in the morning and do, or you stay up late at night, or when you do it, it feels like you've been doing it for 6 minutes, but really it's been 6 hours. that's what you really should be doing. And you're cheating yourself if you're not doing that. And now with the internet, there's really no excuse to not monetize that. There's so many ways you can monetize. You could sell plants on Craigslist and make a living. You could grow plants in your basement, legal plants, and sell them on Craigslist and make a good solid living and be Ms. Lily Day. And you can have that idea, by the way. You can have the lawn art idea. I don't care. I'm not going to use those, but whatever you get up out of bed and you want to do first thing in the morning, you're motivated to do, it keeps you up late at night, you should be doing that. And by the way, it may not just be one thing. It might be 4 things. Like I have stocks, but I'm not going to do stocks all day. There's not enough to do stock-wise all day long. So maybe I would also do this channel where I'm just absorbing, because I absorb information all day long. I'm a YouTube junkie. And I've just absorbed that, and then I analyze it. My brain's always thinking. And so I'm putting the product out there, and hopefully I can monetize that in the future. Maybe I'll cut a few lawns out there, but I'm going to do quality over quantity because that's what I enjoy. And then maybe I'll do some DoorDash. Maybe not. Maybe I'll get back to my music YouTube channel. So just having one source of income maybe isn't right for me. Maybe some people can just find one source because they're preponing that one topic all the time. But I love that word prepone. Prepone is such a cool word, and I'm glad I watched his videos, Sadhguru, and I learned that word prepone because that is the key, I think, to really finding out what you want to do for a living. You are what you do every day. So if you're doing it now for free and you're postponing your job that pays you money, you're in the wrong job. Anyway, tough love, Tom. I'll catch you later. Thanks.